Chosen ones, I want you to pause for a moment and take a deep breath, because what you are about to hear is no coincidence. You did not stumble onto these words by chance. You are here right now because God's plan for your life is beginning to unfold in ways so powerful that every fear, every doubt, and every past limitation will be rendered powerless. This is the moment you have been waiting for. This is the season where God's millions locate you, where your blessings become undeniable, and where the doors of abundance swing wide open just for you. There is a reason you have felt different your entire life, a reason you have been tested more than most, a reason the trials you've faced would have broken people with less resilience. It is because you are chosen. You are set apart. You carry a divine signature that heaven recognizes. When you walk into a room, something shifts. When you speak, something stirs. And when you pray, heaven responds. Because you have been marked by destiny. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to show the world what happens when the power of faith collides with a heart that refuses to give up. Right now, God's abundance is reaching out to you with an intensity that shakes the very foundations of doubt. I want you to receive this message. You are not alone, and you are not powerless. No matter how impossible your circumstances may look, the God who spoke galaxies into being is moving on your behalf. He is lining up resources, opportunities, and alliances so perfect that you will look back and realize every delay was for your protection, and every closed door was a divine reader. You might not see it all in this instant, but trust that heaven is orchestrating events for your breakthrough. If you feel this resonating inside, if your spirit is saying, yes, this is for me, then take a moment to like this video right now and subscribe if you haven't yet. That small act, that tiny demonstration of faith, can be the spark that amplifies your energy and signals to heaven that you are ready. And I want you to comment the number 777 as a statement of alignment, a sign that you are opening yourself to God's favor. Let the universe know you are standing in the place of expectancy. Every time you type that number, you are declaring, I am chosen, and I am stepping boldly into my blessing. Chosen ones, do you hear me? Your old limitations are collapsing before your very eyes. Where you once saw dead ends, you are about to see avenues bursting with promise. The very place in your life where you felt the biggest lack is the area God is about to flood with supernatural supply. If you have been waging a battle in your finances, watch how God is about to release unimaginable prosperity into your hands, so you can not only stand strong, but also bless those around you in ways you never thought possible. If it is your health, prepare for breakthroughs so profound they leave people speechless. If it is emotional or spiritual healing, get ready for an outpouring of peace and joy that defies all logic. You see, when God chooses you, every attempt by the enemy to sabotage your destiny becomes part of your testimony. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every disappointment is transformed into evidence of God's faithfulness. You emerge stronger than before, wearing resilience like a crown. People look at you and wonder how you are still standing, still shining, still believing. And the only answer you can give is that God's favor overshadowed the pain, that you are more than a conqueror, because nothing on this earth can break what heaven has ordained to rise. Let me tell you something important. This is not just about you. Yes, you are about to see radical favor. Yes, your life is moving into a realm of plenty. Yes, God's millions are finding you now, but it is also about the countless souls who will be inspired by your ascent. It is about the communities you will bless and the chains you will break for those who felt like no hope remained. When God elevates you, it's never just for your sake. You are a message. He positions you as a beacon so that others can look up and say, if God can do it for them, He can surely do it for me. Your life becomes a living sermon. a testament to the unstoppable power of grace. No more shrinking back in fear, no more downplaying your talents or your calling to make others comfortable, no more running from the magnitude of the blessing that God has in store for you. When heaven calls your name, you must stand tall. When God's abundance rushes toward you, you have to open your heart and your hands to receive it. Some of you have been sabotaging yourselves because deep down you felt unworthy. You told yourself that maybe other people can be blessed, but somehow you are too flawed, too broken, or too messed up. That is a lie. When God calls you chosen, your flaws become stepping stones to a deeper understanding of His love. You become a vessel that shines even brighter because of the cracks that let more light through. Chosen ones, let me remind you, wealth is not evil, money is not sinful, and God's millions flowing to you is not a sign of greed. It is a tool, a resource, an instrument for you to expand the kingdom on earth, to uplift those who are downtrodden, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, and to create opportunities for those who have lost hope. When you embrace your calling with humility and integrity, finances become blessings that flow through you, not just to you. You move from wanting wealth for personal gain to seeing it as a force to spark transformation in this world. And that is why the enemy tried to keep you in lack, because he knows that once you have the resources, you'll be unstoppable in shining God's light. Think of all the times the odds were stacked against you, when the money ran out, when the dream seemed shattered, when the relationship failed, when the support disappeared. Yet, you are still here. You are still open to the possibility that God is not done with you. You carry a holy expectation, a sense that even if everything else crumbles, your destiny remains unshaken. That unshakable faith is your superpower. It is the gravitational pull that is drawing these monumental blessings into your life, and once the windows of heaven open, your world will never be the same. Let me speak to the part of you that is weary from the journey. I know how it feels to keep believing when your external circumstances scream the opposite. I know the frustration when you see others seemingly bypass you. But remember, God's timeline is precise. There is a reason your blessing was not released until now. Maybe your character needed refining, maybe your circle needed pruning, or maybe God was setting up the perfect scenario so that when your breakthrough came, no one could deny it was His hand at work. But beloved, that time of waiting is shifting into a time of receiving. That era of struggle is giving way to an era of overflow. And as impossible as it may sound to your logical mind, watch how seamlessly God will piece everything together for you. If you have not liked this video yet, do it now. Subscribe if you feel that divine pull, urging you to stay connected. Comment 777 and declare that you are stepping into a higher realm of being. Let this be your moment of full surrender, the moment you say, God, I'm all in. I will not run away from what you have for me, because truly you must not run. You must not shrink. This is the time to plant your feet, lift your head, and declare that no opposition can thwart your destiny. The world has tried to box you in. Society has tried to make you feel like you should settle for less or apologize for dreaming big. But your spirit refuses to settle. God placed something inside you that rebels against mediocrity, and while you may have questioned it in the past, that same God-given spark is the reason you are so magnetically drawn to messages of hope, power, and spiritual victory. It is because, deep down, you already know you are meant for greatness. The ordinary will never satisfy a soul that has tasted the extraordinary. Hear me now. When God's millions find you, do not be surprised if certain people in your life start acting differently. Not everyone will celebrate your elevation. Some may feel threatened, some may become jealous, and some may even try to undermine you. Stay in love, stay humble, and understand that their reaction is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to follow God's lead, to use your new resources wisely, and to keep your heart postured in gratitude. When conflicts arise, remember that you are operating under a higher calling. Do not engage in petty battles. Do not waste your energy proving yourself. And do not let anyone drag you back into a limited mindset. You are built for something far greater. Keep your eyes on that horizon. I need you to hear this. The magnitude of your blessing will require you to expand your thinking. Shift from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of endless possibilities. If God is infinite, then His blessings are infinite. If He created universes just by speaking, then depositing a massive financial windfall or a miraculous open door into your life is effortless for Him. The question is, can you believe it? Can you believe, with everything in you, that God not only can, but will bless you in ways that defy reason? Because faith is the currency of heaven. When you operate in unwavering faith, you magnetize heaven's resources into your earthly realm. Now, do not misunderstand me. Faith is not about wishful thinking. Faith is about inner conviction, about certainty that what God spoke over you is more real than the doubts in your mind. Faith demands action. It demands a heart that is willing to step out, even if the ground seems shaky, trusting that God will hold you up. When He said He would supply all your needs according to His riches in glory, He was not joking. He was laying down a principle of the kingdom. Your life does not have to be defined by the limitations of this earth. It can be defined by the limitless nature of God. Chosen ones, if you feel the fire stirring in you right now, embrace it. This is the clarion call. This is your confirmation that the waiting season is coming to a close. The seeds you planted in tears are about to yield a harvest of such abundance that your past will feel like a distant memory. And please do not run from it. Sometimes the blessing can feel intimidating. Sometimes it is easier to stay small because small is familiar. But you were not made for small. The moment God marked you as His own, you were destined to disrupt the ordinary. So let your heart expand to receive what is already your inheritance. Think of how many miracles we've heard of throughout history. Seas parted, the sun stood still, walls crumbled at a shout, the sick were healed, the dead were raised. And yet, we often doubt that God can shift our finances, mend our relationships, or open the right door at the right time. We believe in ancient miracles, but struggle to accept the modern ones that are waiting to happen in our own lives. Let that doubt die today. The God of yesterday is still God today. His power has not diminished, His love for you has not faded, and His plans for your future have not stalled. There is a specific reason this message is resonating so deeply within you. You might even feel warmth in your chest, a fluttering in your stomach, or a sense of electricity flowing through your veins. That is your spirit bearing witness to the truth. You are on the verge of the greatest shift you have ever experienced. Everything in your life is aligning for this very season. The emotional scars, the financial struggles, the broken dreams, they were preparing you for a time such as this. God doesn't waste pain. He uses it to strengthen you, to sharpen your vision, and to deepen your compassion, so that when you receive the overflow, you can steward it in love and wisdom. Those nights you cried wondering if God had forgotten you, He saw every tear. The days you felt invisible, overshadowed by those who seem more successful, He was working behind the scenes. The moments you wanted to quit, He placed a spark of hope in your soul that refused to die. Now, do you understand why the devil tried so hard to silence you? Because your testimony, your journey, your resilience, and your ultimate triumph are about to inspire an entire generation. That ripple effect will break chains you may never see. heal hearts you may never meet, and illuminate paths you may never walk. Chosen ones, I urge you to refuse to run away from this blessing. Let me reiterate that. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves right before the miracle arrives, out of fear of disappointment. We think, what if it doesn't happen? I'd rather protect myself than get my hopes up. But that is the language of fear, not the language of faith. Faith says, I will expect great things even if I don't see them yet. I will move like it's already done, because God's word never returns void. The problem is never God's ability, it is our willingness to stand firm until the promise unfolds. So stand firm. Don't run. Let the fullness of God's plan overtake you. Let me remind you that this flow of abundance is not a fleeting moment. It is not a random stroke of luck. It is the tangible manifestation of all the seeds you have sown in faith, love, and perseverance. God is a God of order. He sees you. He knows the very number of hairs on your head. Do you really believe that any detail of your life is too small for His notice? If not, then dare to believe He is orchestrating even the grandest blessings in your favor. Picture the breakthroughs you have been praying for, swirling around you like a divine whirlwind, waiting for the perfect alignment to burst forth. Think of each prayer as a key, each step of faith as a lock turning, and each moment of gratitude as an open doorway. Soon the treasure chest of blessings will open, and what spills out will be immeasurably more than all you can ask, think, or imagine. This is the God you serve, a God of immeasurable creativity, limitless resources, and relentless love. If you haven't already, I invite you again to like this video, subscribe, and comment 777 to anchor yourself in this energy of possibility. Let your words be a declaration. Let your actions be a sign to heaven that you are fully committed. Remember, you are chosen. That means you are not chosen for a mediocre life. You are chosen for greatness, for impact, and for divine legacy. Even your failures, your setbacks, and your scars are going to work together in forming a mosaic of grace that shines so brilliantly it draws people to wonder, what is it about you? And that is when you point them to the author of every good thing in your life. Take a moment to absorb this. You are stepping into a chapter of your life where limitations shatter. The finances you need, they're on the way. The healing you've been begging for, God is orchestrating it now. The dreams you dared not speak out loud, heaven heard them before you even formed the words. Understand, the moment you align with the truth that you are chosen, your very aura changes. Opportunities sense your energy and rush toward you. People feel drawn to collaborate with you without fully understanding why. Favor wraps around you like a mantle, and the seemingly impossible becomes your normal reality. Let me speak to the warrior in you who has fought countless unseen battles. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is to believe in the miracle again. After you've been knocked down, after you've faced disappointment, it can feel risky to hope. But if you can allow yourself to hope again, truly, deeply, unapologetically, that is the gateway to your elevation. The resilience formed in your difficult seasons was preparing you to handle the magnitude of the blessings about to flood your life. You can't just taste success, you are about to feast on it. And not only that, but you will have enough to share, enough to sow back into the lives of others, enough to multiply this miracle for generations to come. When God's millions find you, remember to stay connected to your purpose. This blessing is not to flaunt or to feed pride. It is to manifest love in action. It is to shine so brightly that others realize they too can be chosen. They too can break free from every chain, every curse, every limitation. Think of how a single act of generosity can ignite hope in someone who is about to give up. Think of how your words, Your example, your willingness to stand in the face of adversity, can be the lifeline someone else desperately needs. The world is starving for genuine hope, for living testimonies that there is still light in the midst of darkness. You are that testimony. I know there have been times you felt overlooked, times you cried out and it seemed heaven was silent, times you questioned, God, when will it be my turn? You have seen others celebrate while you were left in the shadows. But what if I told you that every tear, every silent prayer, every unseen moment of perseverance has been stored up as fuel for this explosive season of blessing? The darkest nights produce the brightest stars, and that is who you are, a star about to burst into brilliance. Chosen ones, you stand at the threshold of a divine encounter. Dare to step through with your heart on fire. Dare to lay down every regret, every shame, and every worry, and pick up the mantle of unstoppable faith. You were born for this hour. You carry the breath of God in your lungs, the spark of creation in your soul, and the unstoppable power of redemption in your hands. Nothing is impossible for the one who believes, and you have chosen to believe. As you feel this energy building, let gratitude flood your being. Gratitude is the language of increase. When you thank God for what is coming, you create an environment that accelerates the manifestation of your blessings. Thank Him for the lessons learned in hardship, for the people who walked away when you needed them most, for the storms that revealed your strength, for the quiet nights where He whispered destiny into your ear. Every single piece of your journey was a thread in the grand tapestry that God is weaving, a tapestry that will soon be displayed for all to see. In this moment, remember that your story is far from over. It is actually entering its most profound chapter. The pen is in God's hands, and He is writing a narrative of victory, prosperity, love, and purpose. Open your heart wide, accept that you are worthy of every good thing, and then prepare to be astounded by the power of the one who calls you His own. Your days of settling for crumbs are over. The banquet table is set, and there is a seat reserved with your name on it. Chosen ones, do not run from this. Don't let the enormity of your calling intimidate you. Let it excite you, let it stretch you, let it transform you. When fear whispers in your ear, remind it that you serve a God who makes rivers in the desert, who brings the dead to life, who blesses the humble beyond human comprehension. There is no fear in love, and you are loved by the highest power in existence. That love, that unstoppable, unshakable love, is the force that is about to catapult you into unprecedented favor. I need you to hold on to that promise with every fiber of your being. Let go of the past limitations that tried to define you. Let go of the voices that whispered you would never amount to anything. Let go of the insecurities that made you dim your light. This is your time to shine unapologetically, to rise boldly, and to become all that you were destined to be. Heaven is cheering you on. The angels are aligning on your behalf, and the world awaits your manifestation. Keep believing, keep expecting, keep declaring that God's millions are finding you right now. And when they do, remember who you are and whose you are. Remember that your calling is to love, to give, to inspire, and to show others the path back to hope. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a story so remarkable that generations will speak of how God moved in your life. Let your faith soar beyond the confines of logic. Let your soul sing the anthem of victory. Let your spirit dance at the threshold of the miraculous. Now take a deep breath and receive every word spoken here today. Feel the chains of limitation breaking. Feel the tide of abundance rising. Feel the warmth of God's favor enveloping you. If you have not already done so, like this video, subscribe, and comment 777 right now. Make it your bold declaration that you refuse to settle for anything less than God's best. That you will not run from this calling, this blessing, this appointment with destiny. You have come too far to turn back now. You have grown too strong to cower before giants. You have prayed too many prayers to abandon your faith at the threshold of fulfillment. The season is here. The blessings are real. The anointing is tangible. And you, dear chosen one, are about to step into a level of grace, provision, and victory that will leave you in awe. You might question how or when, but do not let that steal your joy. The God who started this work in you will surely complete it. So stand tall, shoulders back, heart open, let your eyes lift to the heavens, and let your spirit exhale a hallelujah of anticipation, because everything you have endured has led to this season. Every tear has watered the soil of your destiny, and every seed of faith you planted is about to spring forth in a mighty harvest. You are chosen, you are loved, you are prepared, and now God's millions are finding you, ready or not. Here they come. Chosen ones, take another deep breath and settle into this present moment, because the glory that is unfolding for you is beyond what words alone can capture. Let every doubt, every lingering fear, and every worry about tomorrow slide off your shoulders. In this sacred space of possibility, you stand at the doorway of a new reality, a realm where what you once believed to be impossible suddenly becomes your everyday experience. As you breathe, feel the warmth of hope filling your lungs. Hope is not wishful thinking. It is the anchor of your spirit, and it refuses to let you drift into despair. That hope is telling you even now, your best days are not behind you, they are right in front of you, and they are arriving faster than you can imagine. When your heart races with excitement or your mind tries to question how it will all happen, remember that God's ways are infinitely higher than yours. Logic might tell you to be practical, to scale back your dreams, or to tread lightly so you're not disappointed. But faith says, step out on the water, even if you've never walked on water before. Speak to the mountain, even if it looks immovable. Expect a harvest, even if the soil seems dry. This is not about blind optimism. It is about trusting the one who never fails to keep his promises. Over and over, you have glimpsed miracles and heard testimonies of breakthroughs that defy all reason. Why would your life be any different? The same power that split seas and raised the dead is the power that calls you a beloved child, a chosen vessel, and a masterpiece in progress. If at any moment you feel your faith wavering, put your hand on your heart and remind yourself of what you have already overcome. The storms that tried to sink you, the betrayals that tried to shatter your confidence, the nights you cried out in silence and wondered if anyone heard you, all those moments were stepping stones to sharpen your resilience. Instead of destroying you, they became the scaffolding for your character, forging a warrior spirit that will not back down in the face of impossibility. There is no shame in admitting that the journey has been hard. Struggle, at times, is inevitable. But you have emerged with a testimony etched into your soul. That testimony is your greatest currency in the spiritual realm, your proof that nothing can keep you from your destiny unless you allow it. Take hold of that testimony, and don't be afraid to share it. You never know whose chains might break the moment they hear your words. You never know how many hearts are on the brink of collapse, waiting for a single story of courage to remind them that God still moves mountains. Maybe you have been underestimating just how powerful your voice is. Maybe you have been telling yourself that your story is ordinary. Let me tell you now, nothing is ordinary about a person who God has breathed life into, chosen and anointed for a purpose such as this. When you speak, spiritual atmospheres shift. When you love boldly, walls come crashing down. When you pray, heaven pays attention. Remember that the path of the chosen is not always lined with applause. Sometimes it is met with misunderstanding, jealousy, or even hostility. But that shouldn't surprise you, because you carry something the world can't quite define. Keep loving anyway, Keep shining anyway. Keep sowing compassion into places that seem barren. Keep holding fast to hope when negativity tries to invade your thoughts, because your consistency, your perseverance, and your grace under pressure are the very qualities that set you apart. They are what draw the blessings to you in a never-ending stream. They are what prepare you to handle the weight of the gifts God is placing into your hands. Yes, these gifts can be substantial, even staggering. The finances that once seemed elusive are about to materialize. Doors to positions of influence you never thought you'd hold will swing wide open. The health report you prayed to see will bring doctors to shake their heads in wonder. The breakthroughs you declared when everyone else said it's impossible will finally burst into the open, leaving you in grateful awe. In that moment, it won't just be about celebrating the victory. It will be about remembering the journey that got you there. Every step, every tear, every prayer whispered in faith was accounted for. None of it was in vain. Chosen ones, I challenge you to cast aside any lingering guilt about wanting more. Sometimes religion or society can make you feel as though longing for financial blessing, success, or recognition is selfish. But it is only selfish if you forget why you're blessed in the first place. You are blessed to be a blessing, entrusted with resources so that you can build bridges of hope for others. When you thrive, you create ripples of goodness that reach beyond your immediate circle. You fund causes that matter. You uplift voices that have been silenced. You feed children who were once hungry. And you show a world hungry for authenticity what real, tangible love looks like. This is exactly why the warfare has been so intense around you. The enemy senses the magnitude of the shift in your favor and seeks to distract, discourage, or derail you before you step fully into your inheritance. Recognize that the pressure often intensifies right before the breakthrough. So, when life squeezes you the hardest, let it press out the anointing stored within you. Diamonds form under pressure, and your spirit gleams brighter with every test. Rather than faltering, let the resistance confirm that you are indeed on the brink of something monumental. Let your praises rise when it feels like everything is standing against you. Sing a victory song even if your voice quivers and tears roll down your cheeks. There is a power in praising through the storm that confounds every negative force coming against you. It shifts your perspective from focusing on the size of the problem to focusing on the enormity of your God. It reminds you that your praise is not contingent on immediate results, but on the eternal truth that you are held in perfect love. Heaven responds to that kind of praise with swift and decisive intervention. Angels rally around a heart that dares to believe, even when every outward sign says otherwise. Now let me speak to that quiet voice inside you that sometimes wonders, will I really see this happen? Or am I just living in a dream? That voice is the seed of doubt that tries to rob you of your joy. Remind it, I have come too far to only come this far. I have tasted God's goodness, and I will not let go until I see the full manifestation of what He promised. Doubt is normal, but allowing doubt to become your identity is a trap. You can acknowledge the questions while still standing on the rock of unshakable truth. Remember how many times you said, I can't take another step, and yet here you are, still standing, still believing, still pressing forward. You have more endurance, more strength, and more grit than you give yourself credit for. If these words are stirring something in you right now, don't brush it off. Let that stirring become action. Hit that like button if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed, do it not for me but as a public declaration that you are aligning yourself with messages of faith and hope. And if you feel led, drop that 777 in the comments. Let it stand as a symbol of your commitment to seeing through what God has started in you. Sometimes the smallest public act of faith unlocks the greatest blessings. It's not about the platform, It's about saying, yes, I am here, I am ready, and I refuse to be silent. Chosen ones, you have a date with destiny that cannot be cancelled by any circumstance. Every time you refused to quit, you confirmed your reservation on that schedule. Every time you believed, in spite of the odds, you etched your name more deeply into that appointed moment of favor. The wait is never wasted, and every obstacle is but a tool in the hands of a God who weaves all things together for your good. What might have taken others a lifetime to achieve can happen for you in a moment, because you carry the seal of divine endorsement. The same God who multiplied 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed thousands can take what little you have and blow the world's mind with the abundance he produces. When the manifestation of these blessings starts to appear, remain humble but bold. The tension between humility and boldness can be a tricky dance, but it is possible. Humility is recognizing you did not achieve these miracles by your own might. Boldness is stepping into the opportunities with confidence, knowing you have every right to be there because God placed you there. You can't shrink back in false humility, nor can you puff yourself up in pride. Instead, you stand tall with a grateful heart, fully aware that every breath is a divine gift and every success is an open door to bless others. That is how you keep the stream of miracles flowing, by making sure it does not stagnate within you, but rather pours out to refresh the world around you. Even as you walk in blessing, challenges may arise. Don't be surprised if certain relationships shift or if new, unexpected hurdles appear. Growth often means outgrowing environments that once felt comfortable. Remember, you are not called to remain static. You are called to flourish and expand. Sometimes that expansion involves leaving behind what no longer serves you. People might misunderstand your growth, thinking you have changed too much, or that you have become too confident. But let them talk. You are not living to please everyone. You are living to fulfill a higher calling. Those who are meant to journey with you will align with the direction of your growth, while those who resist it might fade into the background. Let that happen naturally, without bitterness. Sometimes God subtracts in order to make room for greater additions. Keep your spirit open to learning. Even in seasons of favor, there is always more to discover, more wisdom to glean, more layers of your divine assignment to unwrap. Surround yourself with teachings, mentors, and a community that fuels your faith rather than undermines it. Fill your ears with uplifting words, fill your mind with truths that resonate with the power of God, and fill your heart with gratitude each day. Gratitude, more than almost anything else, keeps you aligned with the frequency of abundance. It is the language of heaven, a melody that echoes back to you in the form of multiplied blessings. You don't just say thank you once. You live in a perpetual state of thanksgiving, letting it color every thought, word, and action. Consider the legacy you want to leave behind. This is not just about living well for a moment. This is about setting a precedent for generations. Let your decisions today pave the way for those who come after you. Imagine your children or spiritual mentees looking at your life and realizing that if God did it for you, He can do it for them. Imagine your story being the blueprint for how to trust boldly and receive lavishly. That is the ripple effect you set in motion every time you break a chain of limitation or conquer a mountain of adversity. It's not just for you, it's for everyone connected to you. Sometimes the greatest inspiration springs from the simplest acts of faith, like deciding one morning that you will no longer speak words of lack over yourself, or choosing to wake up a bit earlier to pray, even when your bed feels too cozy, or gifting a small amount of money to someone in need, trusting that your seed will return a bountiful harvest. These seemingly minor choices stack up into monumental outcome. There is magic in every decision that aligns with your calling. The universe responds, creation bends, and your future shifts with every step of obedience. You might not see the effect immediately, but in due time, the fullness of those choices will overwhelm you with awe.